Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at a really cool car that I got in from JIUSI RC. If you're not familiar with JIUSI RC, they make some high quality RC cars and trucks, and this buggy that I got in today is no exception. This is a WB-12 Pro. It's 1/12 scale, all-wheel drive brushless buggy. They have a top speed rated on this at 80 kilometers per hour or 50 miles per hour. Now to get that top speed, you do have to install the 21 tooth pinion that they include with the accessories here. In fact, it's in this bag right here. You got your little pinion gear in here, but I believe it has a 15 tooth in it now, so it won't be quite as fast on the top end, but it will be really quick off the gun compared to the 21 turn. This looks really cool too. In fact, even it's got some skid plates on top of the body so you don't scuff up or even rip a hole through the top of the polycarbonate body. Just really neat little added touches. Really high-end build this car has. Now, there's some decals you can put on here. Obviously, I haven't done that yet. I don't know if I'll bother with it on the actual drive review, but I will eventually put these on because there are some pretty cool decals for this. And then, of course, there are all those spare parts I was just holding up here. You got some spare turnbuckles, a wrench, and some zip ties and other little spare parts in there. Now, it's 3S power. They give you a 2200 milliamp 3S LiPo, and it's using an XT60 connector, and that plugs into the plug is actually kind of mounted sideways. I'll show you here in a moment. Really easy to plug and unplug this inside the car. But what I really like is you get a fast charger. Now it does just charge off of the balance plug, so it can't be super fast, but they rate this at about 45 minutes to fully charge up this because it's a 2.2 amp and this is a 2200 milliamp battery. It also has a storage mode, so you can put this into storage mode if your car's sitting around for a few days and you haven't driven it. Put the battery in storage mode and pretty much anything is ready to run. They don't include that. You usually get some cruddy USB charger. This is a really good quality charger, and it can charge pretty quick and get you in storage mode, and it's made by Toolkit RC, which is a really good brand of chargers. And like I said, it plugs in the wall. It's not something that plugs into USB. And another thing that I love is you're getting a Dumble RC controller. In fact, if you look at the bottom, you can even see that in the, some of the information here, it says Dumble RC, and you can tell it's a Dumble RC controller. These are inexpensive, but really good controllers. In fact, it's almost all I use on my RC cars. Just a nice controller, good quality, good, very responsive, and has very good range. And inside of the little flip up in the back, you got your power button, and you got a throttle dual rate. So you out of the box here, it was set at 50%. Of course, I cranked it up to 100, but you can limit it if you want to keep it down. So if you got a younger kid driving this, you don't want it to go too quick. You can set the speed limitations. And you have your trim for your throttle as well if the car would creep forward or something like that, and a steering trim above that. So I'm really glad to see they included a good high quality controller. And they also sent me a ton of spare parts. I'll show you guys a photo of all these laid out. But I got all kinds of spare parts they were kind enough to send out to me. And these all came from Amazon. So the car itself you can pick up on Amazon, but all these spare parts. So if something were to break, which, this thing is really well built, but anytime you're driving any of these cars hard, at some point you're bound to break something. All these parts are available on Amazon and from JIUSI RC's website. This car is cheaper from Amazon, so if you're in the US or someplace where there is an Amazon warehouse, I would recommend using the Amazon purchase link down in the video description to pick this up. But if you're not able to get it from Amazon, you can certainly pick it up from JIUSIR's website, though it is a little bit more expensive there. So let's take a look now at the electronics for this car. So underneath the hood here, we've got that brushless motor. It is a 2845 3600 kV brushless motor. And then you have a 35 amp ESC up on top. So that can handle 2 and 3S LiPos. And then you can see there that it has that XT60 connector right here for the car. So when you plug that in, it is kind of hard mounted there so it won't flop around when you are driving the car. On the other side here, you've got your on and off switch next to it as well. Now the receiver for the Dumble RC is actually enclosed in a dust-proof, splash-proof box. So you can see the antenna just kind of poking out here. That'll help keep it dry and make sure that it doesn't get a bunch of water or something on it, especially if you're driving this car in snow. Just some nice little features on it. The bottom here is a CNC machine metal part of the chassis. So this is just a good high quality components. The suspension, as you guys will see here, is oil-filled shocks, as you would expect, and it's just really soft, and the car feels well balanced as well in my hand. But the suspension, I can tell you, is going to work really good with these oil-filled shocks. Nice tires on it as well. You have this drive shaft down the middle, and the bottom a metal one. You have this blue support going along the top here to help support the whole chassis. So a lot of metal components between the swing shafts and turnbuckles and the A-arms and stuff. That's a type of composite plastic. It's just really, really well built, and I like the blue accent as well on the tires. Just a really neat RC car, and really, really well built. And then, of course, you have a 3-wire steering servo here, right up here in the front as well. And it just, this is going to be a lot of fun to drive. I can tell it's going to be a good car for just balanced jumping and handling. And it's going to be wickedly fast. Now, I'm not going to be using the 21 tooth in this video. For one, because I want to see just how quick is it for me just on a 15. I probably won't do a speed test on this, because I think I'll do a follow-up video where I'm going to do the 15 tooth top speed, and then I'll put the 21 tooth and come back and compare the top speeds to see can we get 50 going to like the school parking lot where I have plenty of room, and then what is that compared to if you use the stock pinion that comes with this car. All right, let's get this car out now for some of that drive review, so I'll be right back. All right, guys, let's get the JIUSI RC buggy out here for a test drive at the local park, and probably a pretty good area right here where I can kind of let it rip a bit. We'll do a little off-road running around as well. So let's get this out here and see how it performs. Now, as I mentioned in the table view, if you happen to skip past that, because a lot of you guys do, this is using the 15 tooth right now, so it will not be able to do its highest speed. They rate it 80 kilometers per hour, 50 miles per hour if you're using the 21 tooth, but we're not going to be testing the top speeds out today. Yeah, that's pretty quick. It's going to be pretty quick still. Yeah, that really moves. Now we're going downhill, of course. That's going to have an effect too. Whoa! Yeah, with that 15 tooth in there, you're getting that really rapid acceleration, which you expect. So you almost need to ease into it. So I just about flipped it over there by giving it full throttle off the gun. 21 tooth is not going to be as wild or squirrely off the gun. Yeah, that's fast. You can really see how tires are still breaking loose. Yeah, whoa, that was wicked. That was very cool. So yeah, it's almost, it's crazy. It feels like it's almost too fast here. And we're not even on the 21 tooth. The braking's very good. Imagine trying to control this on that pavement with 21 turn. It's just going to be really, really fast. These little cars with these brushless systems, they get so fast that it almost gets to be too much. And for me, when you get to the 50 mile per hour, then you're really starting to hit the limits of what I think is manageable for these little cars, and also just trying to keep it under control. And despite the fact that it's a little squirrely, it's still easy to get it under control. It's just so well balanced. The oil-filled shocks work really well. This hill here is always kind of fun to try to jump. Whoa! Oh, it ended up upside down. Yeah, this hill right here is a place I've come before, and you have a natural jump here. Whoa! Almost got buried in the leaves there. But look, there's absolutely no issues. What you want to see, I'm just used to seeing a little bit more of a tighter steering radius on a lot of these cars. One thing is just it loses these leaves are slick. Whoa! Tell you what, it lands on its wheels more often than not. But it does break loose a bit here on these leaves. I'm trying to ease into it. Yeah, nice. Oh, it just plows through these leaves. This might be the most powerful 1/12 scale that I have. You know, and I feel like it looks a little smaller. I believe, you know, that's part of the name, WB-12. They rate it, but it's, you know, it's kind of a an opinion. It looks a little more like 1/14 scale to me. It doesn't really look a 1/12 scale to say, but regardless, this has got to be one of the fastest. I do have a, you know, Hypergo / DRC that's, whoa, that's similar top end. That'd be the only other one I could think of. But for the buggy design, I don't think I have anything in the buggy design like this that's this fast. This one's great, and it's so well built. It's just really well built, really well balanced. But like I said, it does flip a little bit more because it just gets a little squirrely because it just has such insane power. That's where I think going up to the 21 tooth, which should ease up a bit on the squirreliness, I think, but we just don't know until we try it. And that's where you might just want to, you know, go higher, the higher count teeth, the larger pinion, and just don't go top speed, you know. And I'm thinking it might be more manageable. Pretty affordable. This buggy's around 100, I think it's 160. I think it might have been $159.99 on Amazon. Whoa. I think it's $200 on their website, so you're definitely better off getting it from Amazon, and of course with Amazon's Prime shipping, if you have Prime, it's going to be, you know, one of those 2-day deliveries. In fact, when I looked yesterday, and this is the 22nd of December, it was going to arrive, you know, on Christmas Eve or before Christmas. Whoa. I like the look even, I mean, I know I said I didn't put the decals on, but I kind of just like the look of it a bit plain here, actually, rather than with the decals. That's what I would probably consider doing, is maybe going with 2S. If you feel like you're just having trouble keeping it under control, that'd be easier than swapping the pinions, because I think, to me, this is fast enough. I don't need it to go to the 21, and if I do that, it's only going to be for a top speed test on this car. I mean, like I said, when you get to those speeds, man, it's just tough. It's tough to keep these cars under control, and you need so much space. That's going a little bit to the left now. So getting it trimmed up is just a little bit of work there. I just didn't spend much time. That's pretty good there. I think I got it. As good as it's gonna get. Wow, that really moves. Really moves. Sitting some limbs along there and maybe some tree roots. Let's try another jump here. Get a good run at it. Whoa! It's just hitting a lot of like tree roots and stuff down there. Oh, that was a perfect jump. I mean, this is about as good as you're going to get for this 1/12th, you know, the 1/14th, 1/12th scale cars. Because they're just small, so when they hit things, they're going to bobble and, you know, jump, and it's a little hard to keep in control. Like a 1/8 scale, something really big like that can eat up that stuff and not get knocked over and upside down. But those are expensive. You can't get a 1/8 scale like this for 150 bucks. Whoa! This is a lot of fun. I mean, sometimes you do these reviews and you're kind of ready to wrap it up. This is enough fun. I don't want to stop. Might end up running it until the battery goes dead. This would be a really fun buggy at 1/10 scale. If they ever, I don't think they make one this size, that size. But it might be a little bit more manageable. But again, the price and the power you're getting here. I gotta say, this is probably one of the best buggies I've ever driven. Just the power, the speed, the oil-filled shocks, the overall well balanced of it. Fairly stable, but I can't say it's super stable just because of its size. You know, it's flipping over and stuff, and I don't blame that on the car's design. I think that's just more the size of the car. It just gets tossed around a bit too easy like that. But yeah, this thing's really, really cool. I'm definitely one of the best RC buggies I've driven. We just have some mud and dirt stains, but otherwise the car is absolutely perfect. Big fan of this. I really want to thank JIUSI RC for sending this car out. I really appreciate it. I can't recommend this car enough. I mean, like I said, maybe if it were a little bigger, it'd be nice, but I don't have any complaints about the car's build quality. Its speed and power is just kind of unmatched for this size, and it's just another one of these newer brands that's really hitting it out of the park. And you don't have to go to the hobby shop brand to get something that's really incredible, and if you do, that's fine. It's going to cost a lot more money than this probably. And as you saw, spare parts are readily available, so this isn't one of those cars where it's really great but you're like, oh, I want a hobby shop brand because I can go there and get parts. Well, you can get these parts in 2 days from Amazon, so there's no issues with finding parts for this car. All right, guys, that wraps up the review of the WB-12 Pro from JIUSI RC. If you're interested in this, please be sure to check the video description and a pinned comment for links not only to Amazon and a link to their website as well if you're interested in picking this up. All right, guys, that wraps up the review. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. While you're at it, click the bell so you're notified whenever you do, when I do upload new videos. And as always, guys, thanks for tuning in, and have Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.